I'm Renee Devereaux with Club for Creative Expression, and today I have the pleasure of welcoming once again Jill Panich. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist and grief specialist. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. I invited you specifically because we have a common bond and common focus on the people, with helping people, you see, and what you call successful aging, I prefer to call successful moving through time. Because the inevitability of getting older, it happens to all of us if we're lucky enough. A lot of us don't make it to a grand old age, but those of us who do, well, I just want to be able to share, what we've uncovered, what we've discovered over the years as to what creates this successful cycle of life. We have an option, we have a choice always. We can choose to look at degeneration or whatever we can't do anymore, or we can select options that will enhance our lives, to realize and accept the fact that it's a new cycle, it's a new beginning, it's whatever we make it. And the fact or the focus that we have here is that to have people be happy is to find purpose. Isn't that true?
That's true, but it takes a long time to get there.
It does.
It really does, and it's not easy.
No.
We seem to go through life very easily. When we're young, we always have goals.
Exactly.
And we have a purpose. We're somebody's child, whatever. We have to get through 5th grade and 6th grade, and then we have to get through college and graduate school perhaps, and get married and have children. All those goals. And I don't know about you, but when I was young, I couldn't wait to be 18 and be out of the house.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree.
That was my major goal, get out of the house.
Right.
And then you perhaps, in my day, one would get married in their 20s and have children. Today, that doesn't happen.
Correct.
Today, young people who go through school are into looking for a career. And they choose something that they are good at and something that they love doing.
Yes.
And they don't think of children, which is really interesting until their 30s. So their goal isn't even really money yet. For some, yes.
For a lot, it is.
Right, but for a lot of them, it's following a dream.
Correct.
Come the 30s, time to settle down. And the goal becomes, get a job, may not be something you love, but it's going to give you money.
Exactly, it's going to produce.
Right. And your reward is the paycheck.
Yes.
That's your reward. And then we lose that. We lose that because the children grow up. Perhaps we get divorced. And we go through midlife crisis.
Exactly.
And
life changes.
Yes, and that's very much like going through retirement. Midlife crisis, empty nest syndrome, all those things that occur after you've grown the children and you're into the next phase.
Exactly. It's like when we approach our late 50s, 60s, life often has a pattern, and something changes. And it can be a divorce, sometimes it's illness, sometimes it's an accident of some type. But it's like life showing us that something is happening, and we have an opportunity. I see it as a really beautiful opportunity to create something new for ourselves. That's the exciting part. And so to be able to prepare for our older years, as we approach or we get into our 60s, I believe that that's the perfect opportunity to start establishing no longer goals, not goals of losing weight or, whatever, but actually something deeper, something more meaningful. How am I going to really feel good, regardless of my age.
Right.
How can I pursue a longing that maybe it was in my heart and mind all along? How can I make it come to fruition?
Well, we have some tools for that. If we've hit 60, 70, and we're looking for that, we have to go back to midlife crisis and empty nest syndrome. I know empty nest syndrome, which I prepared for before my children left the home. I was thinking about it, of course, because I'm always thinking ahead.
And that's when you went back to school? And
No, I went back to school after divorce.
After the divorce.
Right, which was another, let's call them identity crises.
Yes.
You know, when the children left, I wasn't the home person, the homemaker, the caretaker anymore. And I needed something in my life.
Absolutely.
And I searched. I did take courses. I took the real estate courses, became a salesperson. No, I got the license.
You got the license.
Then I got the license to be a broker because I loved going to school.
Yes.
And then I never worked. I never did that. But I was a teacher. I used to teach, substitute teach once the kids grew up. But so that was my new thing that I had found. But it taught me that I can find ways of keeping myself happy and busy with something new.
And that's what's important.
That's the lesson.
To stay stimulated,
Right.
to be interested, to stay interested and participating in life.
Right. And then when I was 60, I got into, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? And that's why I became a therapist, so I could put my foot up as I'm interviewing, as I'm sitting with my clients. And they wouldn't care, who would be okay. And if I couldn't walk, I'd be seated, it would be fine. Obviously, I had had therapists myself who had been in that position, so I had good models.
Right.
But I also said, if I want to age well, I wanted to know, how do you age well? What do you do? And I had been working at a place called Center for Healthy Aging. And there was a 103-year-old lady who ran that place. And she became my model.
Yes. We need those. We absolutely need those wonderful people who will stay active and productive regardless of age. And that's, again, my goal, my mission, to always be in that state of mind and to present to our younger sisters that, life continues, that you do not have to feel irrelevant, that you do not have to allow the discomforts that come with time to stop us from living a productive, happy life. And here you are, a perfect example, because you kept seeing what was ahead, what you could do. And the same for me. I always wanted, from a very early age, I knew I wanted to help people. I wanted to participate and help them feel better, look better. It's something I know I will always be able to do. I have an esthetician's license, which it's something I love to do, skincare and so forth. So I've prepared long ago, looking at my future. What did I want to do? Retirement didn't really enter for me. It wasn't a thought. I remember working for a company and they wanted to, set up a 401k and so on and so forth for me. And that was good and well, but I never took it seriously because I just felt in my bones that I'd be working until the day I left the planet. And I love that because it keeps me stimulated, you see, and with my character, I don't like the idea of being bored.
That's good. So you're one type of person.
Yes.
I'm another type of person. I can be hermit-like.
I know.
And I've done that. I used to play the piano a lot. A lot. I would sit down and play for 5 hours. 5 hours every day. And that really isolated me. And I knew that. My kids would come in from school or my ex-husband from work, and if they heard me still playing, they'd say, "Uh-oh, she's down." She's down. So it took a lot for me to say, I'm not going to sit there anymore. And rarely did I play after that decision, come to think of it. I'm going to get out of the house.
And that is so important because so many of the residents in the community do isolate themselves.
Yes.
So please tell us more about that, because
So-
it is definitely an option.
It is.
That you can
Right.
totally close the doors and never go out.
It is.
And you can have deliveries.
Yes, and that's one of the worst things you can do for yourself is to isolate. And I learned from another mentor of mine in her mid-90s who'd been in a nursing care facility for 4 months, and every time I called her, she was chipper and happy. She came back to run this group with me, and in front of this group of elderly people, I said to her, "Betty, how come every time I spoke to you, you sounded so positive and were joking with me on the phone?" And she said, "You know, this hasn't been bad here." I said, "But you've been in bed most of the time," broke her hip, then re-broke her hip. And she said, "Yes, but I love people, and I have enjoyed every roommate I've had, every nurse who's walked in, every person who comes in to clean the floor." And I really heard that.
Yes.
She said, "I look for something in someone that I can relate to." And that is so important.
It is. Human contact
Yes.
is an essential part of life.
Right.
It truly, truly is.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and that, you know, when that really hits home, and look at all the losses. I've lost 4 of my very best friends early through my 60s, which was unbelievable.
Yes, I have too.
Yeah.
Two of my dearest friends passed in their 50s.
Right, and I'm not going to replace them
No,
because
they can't
they
be
know your
replaced.
history. They know your history. There's nothing like being with someone who knows perhaps your parents, who they were, or a sibling, or the problems you've had in your life.
Exactly.
But there are new friendships that you can make. You
Absolutely.
can find new friendships, as
New
we did.
friendships. Yes, we did. Over a game of jacks.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Joe and I
But if
actually.
you stay in the house, you don't meet anyone.
Correct.
And that's also brings us to a purpose.
Absolutely.
As we get older, we're not going to say we're going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro tomorrow. We're not going to do that. We're not going to say we're going to go out and make $100,000. So the purpose has to be something inside of you.
That's it. Those are the
Inside.
perfect words, Joe, because it has to come from within.
Right.
Something that resonates with our soul. Something that is about us, you know,
Right.
something in a feeling
Not
level.
a title.
Not a
a
title,
paycheck.
not anything.
Nothing that's tangible. It's different. It's your heart.
It's your heart.
What warms your heart? How do you stay happy on your
Yes.
own? What can you do? And that's so important to realize. And so that's, you know, when you say you lose your identity, when you go through certain stages in life, you have to find out how you are.
And that is the beautiful opportunity
Yeah.
that a lot of women have never had. You see, because they've been married, they've been mothers, they've been, you know, so busy with their lives that they've never really found who they are.
Yes.
And actually, they're my favorite clients because that discovery is so exciting.
Yes.
You see, when they approach a certain period of their lives and it's like, now, who am I? And it's like they're meeting a complete stranger, because then they realize, oh, gee, I did that for so many years, and you know what? I don't really like to do that.
Right.
I did it because, you know?
Right.
And so to find your true self-expression, you see, that I think is so important.
Yes.
So important. It makes us come alive and become who we truly are.
And that's why it's so wonderful to come to Laguna Woods.
Yes.
You have a choice when you come to Laguna Village, Laguna Woods Village. You can sit at home and isolate.
Yes.
Or you can go out there.
Yes.
We have so many clubs. We have so many things to do.
Absolutely.
You can find yourself. You can find your activity level. You know, there's dance, there's swimming, there's horseback riding, whatever you want, you can do at your level.
It's endless.
Endless.
And you can even have a garden, which
Yes.
I've signed up for. I want to have a garden.
You have.
I already grow, herbs on my deck, but I want to have something to plant. Spending time outdoors is so essential for us, you see. And so I'm going to start a garden any day now when they have the plot ready for me. And I think that's so exciting because, again, it's something I had in back of my mind. I never really had the opportunity. Now, here in Laguna Woods, it's available.
Yes.
It's like, wow.
There's so much.
There's so much.
Right.
Endless possibilities.
But if you get past the point where you can't do a lot of things, and let's say it's not easy to drive, well, we do have bus service here. You can still get to meetings
You do.
and make friends with other people who do drive, which is great.
Which is wonderful.
But there are little things. You don't have to have grandiose ideas to feel a sense of purpose.
Precisely.
And what is
You see.
purpose? Purpose is feeling you're valued. You are a value in this world. You are a value to other people.
And that's the essential feeling.
Right.
You see, that I want people to have a real sense of the value. You may not feel it, your family, your children may not honor
it.
you with it, yet we all do have value.
Right.
And when we access that power from within, I think that value is inevitably shows up. It comes out in different ways.
Yeah, when we spoke about doing this, I discussed with you the little things that a person can do to be a value to
Correct.
society. And that is go out for that walk 3 times a week, 30-minute walks are wonderful, or every day if you can do it. You're out on your walk and you see someone approaching you. Smile when they come up to you, when they pass by. Say hello, how
Yes.
are you? Good day. Great outfit. You have made someone's day if you've said that. And
Absolutely.
maybe that meeting is the only time that person is going to hear from another person again the entire day.
Definitely. And I also have learned about sound therapy and the importance of hearing the human voice, how vital it is, to our existence, to those sound waves. They're really important. And so to say hello in a pleasing way, and to just someone, to a stranger, it can make a difference. A difference that most people haven't recognized, or really hasn't been recognized up to this point. And so they're doing a lot of studies in sound and how it impacts
How
us.
interesting.
Oh, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. And so it's not necessarily just through music, but the voice. The voice.
Interesting.
Yes, I love it. It's fascinating.
Wow, I'm going to look into that.
And so that is, again, it could come from our childhood, when we were babies, and the soothing sound of the mother and the soothing heartbeat, when we were in the womb. So all of that, they're learning that has impacted us. And so we need to continue to get those sound waves.
Yes, yes.
And so saying hi to someone that you don't even know can make a difference.
Yes, and
Imagine
smiling.
that.
And smiling.
And smiling. And it doesn't cost
Yes,
you anything.
it does. And touching someone and being touched by someone,
Yes.
which today in the Me Too movement
Oh,
has
my.
become a little frightening.
Yes.
because I'll often touch someone's arm and say thank you. You know, the back of, and I'm a little afraid to do it now, but touch is really important.
Very definitely.
Yes.
And it goes right along with our human connection, you know, the need for that human contact. So I am sorry that we've gotten to a place where we need to be guarded as far as, you know, holding or touching somebody's hand or arm or shoulder. I can't help it. I do want to hug, or, you know, just to put my arms around someone, you know, especially if I have a sense that the person is, you know, maybe they've got something going on, something in their mind, something isn't quite perfect.
Right.
And so the comfort does reach them.
But it's a little frightening. We have to be careful with it today.
I know. It seems unfortunate.
Right. I'm sure most people go to the supermarket. We all have supermarket experiences. And I was in there last week one day, and the fellow in front of me was quite a curmudgeon. He was, and he loudly said to the checker, he said, "You could crack a smile." And she, of course, did not crack a smile. He left, and I did my usual thing, which is I always smile with a checker. I'm certainly not on my cell phone. And I say hello, and say, "How's it going?" I say something, and the lady smiled at me. She was so happy that someone was talking to her instead of expecting something from her.
Exactly.
It's so nice. And checkers all wear their names, little name tags. And even the person who does your bagging has a name tag. To say someone's name, you said sound is important.
Yes.
To say someone's name, they love it.
It's a gift.
It is.
It is a gift.
Which makes me feel very guilty, because I'm not good at remembering people's names. And people come up to me.
Most people in the community have that difficulty.
Well, for years I worried about this, because they would say, "Hello, Joe," and I couldn't say their name. I'd give them a big smile or a hug, but no name. So I really work hard at that. Or I say, "You know, I've forgotten your name," and then I say it 6 times while I'm with them, and that works.
And that works.
That works. That will stay with me forever.
Repeat. Yes. It does make a difference.
Right. But it's so nice when someone says your name.
Yes.
So it's little things like that you can say, "I am giving. I'm giving to others. You know, I'm sharing my smile, my joy at being able to walk into the store or on the street or whatever it is with someone else."
Here again, it's the mindset of loving life. And I believe that a lot of us take life for granted. And my emphasis is in, again, changing that mindset and being in that state of gratitude and appreciation for every day, every breath that we take, because they're really a gift. I mean, it's such a privilege to live in our beautiful earth and to, you know, be able to do the things that we do, whatever they are.
Right.
You see, still that we're able to do them. It's like, yes, it's very important.
So that's where therapy can come in.
Yes.
If someone comes to me, if someone comes to me and doesn't know what to do with their lives, doesn't have friends, doesn't make friends, doesn't do whatever, I have them look into themselves.
Yes.
Why are they not making friends?
It's like, why?
And there are reasons for that usually. And to go through to learn about their lives and to jot down for them, make a list of all the positive things they've done in their lives.
Correct.
All the good things that they've had in their lives. Sometimes people forget.
And you see, I do the same thing with my clients, that I have them make lists of their positive aspects.
Yes.
You see, everything that is positive about you. How do you feel, you know, about yourself, essentially, is what I'm wanting to create. You know, is that that sense of appreciation for oneself.
but knowing about their past is very
Yes.
important because
Oh, absolutely.
I had a thing with selfish. I had a sister who always called me selfish.
My mother called me selfish.
Always. I think we talked about
Yes,
this
we
once.
did. Uh-huh.
And I had this great Buddhist therapist for a few
Uh-huh.
years while I was in school, and you had to have therapy at the same time to become a therapist. And you know, she really worked on my ego, which had been damaged in childhood, as most of us,
As
or
most of
somewhere
us.
along life. And, you know, selfish was always my older sister saying selfish to me and feeling terrible about it. And she said, I want you to go home and look up the word selfish in the dictionary. And selfish became a positive word to me instead of a negative word. It means what you espouse, self-care.
Correct. Caring about
Yourself. Because if you don't care about yourself,
Who will?
who will? I'm looking up.
Absolutely. Who will?
So
And that's the point right
it
there.
is so important to care about yourself.
And you see, I wrote the book. It's called The Ultimate Love Affair because it is about relationship with the self.
The self.
And it's about unconditional love and acceptance for everything that has ever happened in our lives, and to appreciate that all that has happened in our lives has helped us get to this place.
Right.
Where, you know, there's that saying, with age comes wisdom. Sometimes she comes alone. But essentially, as we get older, we should become wiser. I mean, it's a natural to use the experience from the past to know that we learned something from that, and know that we wouldn't do some of the behaviors or some of the actions that we did earlier. So that's wisdom. That's wisdom.
Yes.
Definitely.
So, you know, getting back to the idea of finding positive things in your life is so that you can look at yourself in a new light, perhaps, seeing that you have goodness inside of you, and you have warmth inside of you, and you do have something to share.
Well, it's all about love, isn't
Right.
it?
Mhm.
It really is
Yeah.
about love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of people don't love themselves.
No, they
And,
don't.
You know, it's a rarity to find someone. It really is a rarity
Yes.
to find someone who fully loves themselves.
Correct.
And part of that, I believe, is having a sense of humor about yourself.
Oh.
Because-
yes, I'm so glad you mentioned that. I've always said if it weren't for
Right.
my sense of humor, I would have left a long time ago.
Right, because we can't change ourselves. So we really have to accept ourselves and laugh at our thoughts that run through our head. We don't have to speak them,
Exactly.
but learn to, they go through your head. It's okay, chuckle to yourself and say something else. That's it.
Yes, I believe that the human condition in itself is what? Sufficient to cause daily laughter.
Right.
I laugh at myself constantly because, you know, it's like I know I'm an observer of behavior, and I can see that left to my mind's own devices, I can go off on a tangent, and then I realize, well, gee, isn't that ridiculous? So with
Right.
that, we're going to come to a close. I hope you have enjoyed the show today. Thank you for joining us. And again, Joe, it's been a pleasure to have
Thank
this
you.
talk with you,
Yes.
because it is one of our favorite subjects. And again, thank you for tuning in, and do give us some feedback. Renee Devereaux, Joe Panich. Thank you.